Hi guys, thanks for joining me today on my live video. Today I'm talking about it's better to be kind than right. So it seems that being right is almost like the natural reaction these days. Always wanting to be right and show other people the error of their ways at almost all cost, regardless of how it makes them feel or look. And it seems social media seems to be good at making it so easy for us to be right and show other people how wrong they are, regardless how that situation might turn out. I think the internet in general seems to have a lot of that. I read an article recently by Ryan Holiday called It's Not Enough to Be Right, Also Need to Be Kind. That challenged me a lot and got me thinking. And especially when it comes to my commute to and from the office, cycling and running, and interacting with other road users. And yeah, I know in certain situations something can happen, you can fly off the handle, someone runs a red light or stops their car in the bike box in front of the traffic lights or parks in a cycle lane or something, and before I know it, I'm trying to show them the error of their ways and why what they've done is wrong. And that doesn't necessarily lead to anything positive, and ultimately leads to me arriving at home or the office stressed out, angry, or upset. So I decided, based on reading this article, to choose to see things differently and react differently. So choosing to be kind and see how that helps to improve my commutes. Because I know often I can start off cycling or running into the office, and I love doing it because it makes me feel relaxed, free, and helps me unwind from any stress they might have. And then I see someone run a red light or do something silly, and before I know it, I've reacted and get myself wound up, stressed out, and yeah, it doesn't end well for anyone. So in those situations, I mean, who am I to decide whether someone has run that red light for whatever reason and is in the wrong? I mean, I don't know. They could have perfectly good reasons for running the red light. They could be late. Who knows? Yeah. And yeah, I see many cyclists running red lights as well. So it's not just motorists. So everyone is guilty. And who am I to take it personally? I just happened to be there in that situation and saw it happen. So I have no reason or right to take these things personally either. So to see things differently and choose not to react and be kind, even when you know that person's definitely in the wrong, to be kind in that situation and give someone the benefit of the doubt and not to react, I think is positive, because then it ultimately allows me to arrive home or the office feeling happier, de-stressed, and yeah, feeling in a positive mood. So a couple of last thoughts before I finish up today. I'm sure there's situations that you might say, well, I can give you a list of situations where I know the person's definitely in the wrong and I'm in the right, and I'm going to make sure they know it. And yeah, I'm sure those situations exist, and things can be very black and white and very obvious why you might be in the right. But I think even in those situations, I think choosing to be kind, even though you know you're right, I think is definitely the right choice in that situation. And I also know that there's times when I get triggered still and react to a situation, even though I'm starting out from the perspective of wanting to be kind. And before I know it, I've gone off the handle and reacted and ended up upset, whatever it might be. Even in those situations, I think it's important to remind yourself to be kind to yourself in those situations too. I think ultimately, whether you think you're right or wrong, I think starting out being kind or have that as your main focus or desire in all situations is going to be positive, whether it's cycling, commuting, online, social media, just face-to-face interactions. So yeah, that's my thought for this week. That's been on my mind for a couple of weeks now, and there's been situations this week where I've seen a driver drive into the bike box at the traffic lights and wanted to react, and I have reacted in one situation that I felt a bit guilty because I think it was a mother who'd been stressed out, possibly, who knows, getting her kids home from school or something, and I felt bad. In other situations, you think, well, that person deserves it. They clearly chose to drive into the box for whatever reason. But yeah, I think ultimately not judging a situation or trying to say, oh, you know why the person did that. Using just to be kind, whether you think you're right or wrong, I think is the right way to go. Anyway, I think I'm rambling now. So yeah, thanks for watching this week's video, and any comments, feedback or questions, as always, leave them in the comments and I will come back to you. And if you enjoy these videos, then I encourage you to join my Facebook group Unstuck and Thriving. And as always, I will speak to you again next week.